to Amy Hart's Mums Club, the podcast where I journey through the highs and lows of parenting alongside a gaggle of fabulous guests. Don't forget to check us out on social media at Amy Hart. So it's my personal social media, and then at Amy Hart's Mums Club is the podcast one on Instagram and TikTok. Now, today I have a very special guest. We first saw her in Made in Chelsea, and since then she's done Beyond Chelsea. She's done so many things, fashion lines, she's done books, and she's mum to three gorgeous children, India, Woolfie, and Wilder. Please welcome Binky Felstead.
Hi, thank you for having me, Amy.
Thank you for coming on. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fully into the festive swing of things, as you can see. My house downstairs looks like Father Christmas's grotto. And I don't know if you've had this bug going around, but we've all come down with that bug the last couple of weeks. But I'm now out the thick of I'm at the other end, so we're all good. Just kind of catching up.
Stanley just keeps being sick, and he'll be sick for like half an hour, and then he'll sleep for an hour, and then he'll be fine again. And it's happened twice. And we're like, and everyone's like, is it something he's eating? I'm like, I don't think so. Um,
There's something going around. It's
yeah,
those sniffles, those December sniffles are happening. I mean, honestly, it's not just been the sniffles. I've been taken down. I don't ever get taken down. I've been taken down for the last couple of weeks, but I'm trying to think, at least it's all happened before we're going away for Christmas. So, hopefully they've all been off school. And then actually it's hilarious. They've all been off school and then we'll all be like chilling on the sofa and then India just get up and start dancing
I
and then we're
love
like
you.
running around catch
Where are you guys going for Christmas?
Mexico.
Oh,
We
nice.
get a bit of sun. Yeah. I
Just the
think we're
five of you?
just Yeah, yes. So we're going to be going for what for yeah, just well, actually no, India's going to be with her father this year. So I hate being in the country when she's not around. It makes me feel really sad. So we're kind of taking ourselves off somewhere.
Oh, lovely. But that'll be
Yeah,
nice. Christmas in the sun. Can't beat
yeah.
it. I love it.
Actually, I don't agree. I love Christmas in England. I love cozy log fires and like long country walks in the rain and just kind of getting snuggly again by the fire and just kind of hunkering down. But um, it's nice to mix up occasionally,
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
What are you doing? You
Um,
here?
we are here, so we always do Christmas Eve at home, and then we do Christmas morning at home, and then we alternate every year between my parents, Sam's parents. So this year we're with my
Yeah,
family on Christmas Day and Sam's family Boxing Day. And
heaven.
then we've got a party with all Sam's school friends on the 27th. Sam's birthday's
Yeah,
Eve, so got to try and find something to do for that. But yeah, then I think we might go away first week of Jan just to
heaven.
last holidays of three because
Oh,
Sam's just missed. I did a cruise trip, work trip, which Sam didn't come on. And then before that, I did a trip with my friends and then my mum and dad to Spain, which Sam didn't come on. So he's now like, oh, I need one last holidays of three. I need a last holidays of three.
are you gonna do a baby moon as well
I don't think we'll have time.
without Stan?
I don't
No.
time, but there's a Pilates retreat next October that we've seen from our Pilates studio. So we're a bit like, it's only 4 nights. So I'm sort of currently like talking to my mom, like seeing how that all sits.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like
yeah. Sucking up.
we wanted to go away ourselves on our own this year because I think we're hopefully going to be together a long time after our kids have left home. So I feel
Yeah,
like you have to, make that time for each other. And it's so hard in like normal life because you're like, oh yeah, it's fine. We said when we got married, every Friday night would be date night. Like it hasn't happened for months and months and months. Even if we just stayed in, but like it just doesn't happen. So we
no.
wanted to go ourselves this year, and then just like work and stuff got in the way. So we're like, right,
Mm.
Pilates retreat next year because we love Pilates, so that's good. Um,
Oh, heaven.
but how do you find being a mum of three?
I love it. I absolutely love it. Of course, you have your days where you want to pull your hair out and you're just so exhausted, but that's just life. That's just parenting, right? But it's just been so wonderful watching. Well, India's the eldest, so she's quite a sensible kind of got a very maternal, natural side to her because she loves looking after her little brothers. And it's just been amazing watching Wilder, the youngest, kind of catch up. He's now two, but he's talking more than those two spoke at his age. And they're just all interacting so beautifully. Of course, there are times where they're all, kind of getting frustrated someone's not sharing or whatever, but I quite like a hectic household. I'm quite strict as well. I want them to kind of know their boundaries. and manners is a huge thing in our house, but they're very they're very sweet together. They're just heaven. And of course, it's all going to change when they're all teenagers and wanting to be in the shower at the same time before school or whatever. I mean, it's all going to be. It's good. That's just parenthood. It's up and down the whole time, right? Um, but I'm loving it. I think for me, it's just the lack of sleep. They're all taking turns at the moment not to sleep. And India's desperately trying to sleep in Wolfie's room, and Wolfie wants to, have his own space. And Wilder keeps coming downstairs and standing outside the bedroom, and we're like, oh my god, what is going on? And now Wilder's sleeping. India's now wanting. It's just like they all take turns. So I don't think I've slept fully for 8 years. Um, but who needs sleep when you've got a great makeup artist?
Exactly. Um,
Yeah.
what tips do you have for me from going from one to two?
Oh, I think not to try not to. I think I think going from one to two was much bigger than going from two to three. My biggest thing was the guilt I felt I was going to feel because obviously India had me to herself for almost 4 years. And I felt terrified that she was going to think that, I didn't love her as much or having to spread my time evenly. And I think just don't put too much pressure on yourself. Give yourself a break and just allow yourself to bond with your new bundle of love and introduce Stanley to this new baby. Like how you just know it. You know you're gonna be absolutely fine. Just kind of have some faith and try not to get mum guilt. I think that's such an easy thing to say, but it is that was for me, like I really hope India realizes how much I love her still, even though I've brought somebody else into this world that's gonna need my attention just as much, if not more at the very beginning. Ask for help. You've got your friends and family around you, yeah. Other than that, I think you're gonna bloody nail it.
I think I have cried a lot about Stanley and that his life's going to change stuff, and I know he's going to love it so much because he loves babies and he's so good with them and stuff. But it is, but then I'm starting to think now because of the age that Stanley's at, everyone says he's funny, he's this, he's really talkative, he's really sociable, and I'm like, is that because of all the places he's been and all the things he's done in his 2.5 years, which the new baby is not going to get because once Stanley's at school we're going to be a lot more limited of what we can do. And I feel really bad for the baby. And I'm like, oh my God, like, are you going to know how to deliver a punchline because you haven't been on enough cruises? Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Oh my gosh, Amy, honestly, I think the thing is, I always kind of, you can overthink everything, right? Especially as a new mummy, and you're going to have those hormone surges and you're going to feel like out of your depth occasionally. But Stein's going to absolutely love having a baby to play with and, and just, and of course, like you're still going to be able to do stuff.
I know,
Like
yeah.
for generations, we were taking places. It's going to be absolutely brilliant. And also, he's going to have way more fun because he's going to have a little mate to be around.
I'm excited. Let's talk about Made in Chelsea. How was that when, like, that sort of like overnight sensation when it happened to you guys?
It wasn't really an overnight thing. It was well, it started, kind of. I was at a speakeasy bar, probably on my 10th Jaeger bomb, and there's a camera crew, and they were like, right, we're doing a show called Chelsea Girls, and it's a bit like Only Way is Essex, but in Chelsea. I was like, cool, whatever. Like, sounds fun. I didn't have a particularly exciting job at the time. I was a very bad PA, and they brought me outside, quick interview, got called back at Channel 4 offices a few weeks later, and then again, and we basically got given a contract to sign. It was me, Ollie, Cheska, Rosie, and Kagi, and Mark, and Victoria. Like, there's only like 10 of us at the very beginning. And then we got thrown into our first scene, which was at Raffles nightclub. And from then on, of course, it took some time to come out. And I just remember suddenly starting to be recognized. We were all actually just on our lunch break after filming, me, Ollie, and Cheska. And we saw some kids outside, like knocking and waving and like asking for photos. And that was my first interaction of being in the public eye. And it definitely, I think it's quite nice. I don't know because if you found this, you were on Love Island, which was already like a very big show, and you came out and it was like rah, like Amy. It wasn't like that for us. It was a very slow progression, which I think probably was a lot more easier for to take.
It's not that I wish I'd taken it in more because I did take it in, but I just don't remember it because it was such a whirlwind. Like when I first left Love Island, and when I look back at things now, I look at pictures, I think I don't remember being there, because it was just so crazy. Um,
Mm.
yeah, it does. It's like when I think about when I first came out of Love Island, I was in London probably 4 nights a week, and it was very normal. And I'd probably travel up every night and not think anything of it. And all my friends used to be like, "Oh my God, you're going to London?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, I'm going to London." Like, what?
Yeah.
And we went to London last week, me and Sam, to see a show. And I was like, A, I can't remember the last show I saw in London. I used to see like three a week. I was like, and B, like it was just such a slog getting there and getting home. And I was like, oh God, I've truly reached like my mum want to stay at home era.
You've done your London days. You want to be in bed at 7 p.m., not putting on your makeup and getting out. Yeah, I get it. And I live in London. I still feel like that.
And then it's got Beyond Chelsea. So that was like the follow-up show that you guys did last year. What's the future of that? What's going on with that?
So that's showing early next year. That's been really fun actually, because I came up with the idea after having not been on TV for a few years. Obviously, I quit main Chelsea when I got pregnant with India. I wanted to just be fully immersed in her and this new phase of my life that was going to be huge, obviously. And then, I've had more babies, I've got married, I've got business opportunities. And I thought it would be really fun to show the audience who have been diehard fans from day one. And look, they followed me for the last 15 years. So I think all those people that used to watch Made in Chelsea back in the day have all grown up with us and they've all got, things, careers, and or maybe they got married and had kids. So they want to know the next stage of our lives because it was a very different life back then. Who was snogging who was cheating on who. I can't relate to that stuff anymore. So I don't want to watch Made in Chelsea anymore. But I still have a lot of respect and love for it because I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for that show and doing the amazing opportunities I'm doing. But of course, now I think there's way more fun, interesting things going on in our lives where it's way more relatable. So Beyond Chelsea is kind of giving you the insight into our marriages, a little bit of our children, not too much, but mainly our kind of careers and our friendships after all these years. And I think personally that's way more exciting than just talking about who's cheated on who and who's snogged who. Do you know what I mean? But then that is because we are older now and we've got other things going on in our lives. So Beyond Chelsea's been really, and it's been filmed very differently. With Made in Chelsea, you kind of have to go to location and it's not scripted, but it's obviously you have to hit your lines as in what to bring up. But whereas Beyond Chelsea, I was like, look, guys, if we're going to do this, I can't be going to location at this time. I've got 3 kids to work. So you send a camera crew around and they'll actually follow us around rather than have to go to location and stand on our mark and then deliver the lines. Do you know what I mean? So it's a lot more free flowing and it's
Yeah.
easier and it's just I think that looks even way more exciting in a way because they're like, if one something's going on and over there, that the camera will swing round and capture that.
Mhm. I think that's like, as they say, for die-hard fans, sort of you watch the show, but then you follow everyone on social media because you want to see sort of like the behind the scenes, whereas this is like ready packaged behind the scenes, sort of like your real
Yeah.
lives. And I really like
Yes. Yeah. And I think, and look, we've had a lot of amazing responses. So I'm looking forward to this next couple of episodes coming out. And then who knows? Like, it'd be great if it went to a full series. I think we also just had to kind of gain people's trust back because, as you know, the reality TV world it's a proper, it's not an easy game. It's quite scary. And I think back in the day, it did scare a lot of people. It
that.
was very, very kind of people would want storylines, and so they'd go tooth and nail just to get their storylines, and I feel like trying to get people to kind of have faith that this Beyond Chelsea is different. Like we're not going to try and screw you over. We just want to know about what's going on, and of course, a bit of drama is always great, but Amy, I've got my anxiety these days. Can't take any drama. I can't do it anymore. Like I want to be with my babies and my husband in a little cocoon somewhere. I don't want to. I just don't want any drama.
Now you're working on this campaign, all about allergies because Wolfie has a sesame allergies. Tell me about the campaign.
So yeah, Woolfie was I think 18 months when he had his first anaphylaxis. We were in the countryside having lunch. Car was all packed up to come back to London, and he was having hummus like he's had many time before. Anyway, he was rubbing it all over his face, as babies do. And all of a sudden, he went very red, got very upset, itchy, had little white dots all over his hands and his tummy, and his face then started to swell. So I was running him to the loo, trying to wash everything off. But of course, it wasn't helping. So I literally threw the kids in the car. We drove to this nearest pharmacy we could find. And I dragged the pharmacist out. I said, look, can you come look at my son? I don't know what to do. I've never heard of an allergy anaphylaxis before. And he said, yeah, let's give him Piriton straight away. I need to call an ambulance. And luckily there was an ambulance having that on their lunch break around the corner. So they came within seconds. They took one look at him, said, yep, he's gone into anaphylaxis. They gave him a adrenaline shot and basically had to get rushed to the hospital and then supervised for the next 7 hours. It was absolutely terrifying because his face was swelling. That meant his tongue was probably swelling, which obviously meant his air passages were getting smaller, and then the unthinkable could have happened. And that was my first ever, I'd never known of an anaphylaxis before. I don't even have particularly any friends or family with allergies, so I had to work out what it was, and it was the tahini in the hummus, which obviously I now stay clear of. But it's we're kind of, this campaign is just asking people to be reaction ready. There's a high number of people that don't know what an anaphylaxis is or don't know the early signs of an anaphylaxis shock. So if you were just to kind of educate if I ask my friends and family just to kind of know what to do if Wolfie goes to a birthday party, or we have people, or they take him somewhere, or we go to, it's festive, it's Christmas, everyone's having parties, or, kind of getting people together. Luckily, these days, a lot of the time you hear people asking, are there any allergies that we need to be aware of, which is brilliant. Even restaurants, we never had that growing up. I never heard any waiters or waitresses asking if there are allergies at the table, but they do that everywhere we go, which is just a standard now, which is fantastic. But I will now speak to friends and family and just make sure they know the early signs. And of course, we always carry Wolfie's adrenaline device wherever we go, just in case he needs it. He's obviously now 4, so he's able to say, which is quite sweet, but very sad in some ways, is there sesame in this? So he now knows what sesame is and he can't have it. And if he has had something before with sesame, and he will know immediately that his throat gets itchy, he starts getting really upset, he starts coughing, his breathing kind of slows down, and then you can see the rashes, and it's very scary.
So with sesame, obviously it's an ingredient rather than like if you were allergic to peanuts, you can say like, okay, no peanuts, no peanut butter, nothing with trace of nuts. But with sesame, is it harder to sort of spot within foods?
Well, you think of a burger bun. I didn't think about this. I gave Wolfie a burger on the beach in the summer, and his mouth started going red. I was like, oh my God, what is it? And then of course, sesame is mostly on burger buns, which I didn't even know what sesame looked like before really having to look into sesame, this allergy. But traces of sesame in foods, there's a lot. And actually, he tends to be okay with traces. But of course, you've got a lot of companies now actually state that there's sesame in things, which again is brilliant. But it's definitely a more sneaky one than nuts or shellfish or anything like that. So you do have to kind of be pretty, I mean, I'm pretty savvy now, especially on aeroplanes. And not that they actually do have many, well, I don't think they've got sesame on airplanes anymore, but I'm so focused on looking in the back of all packages now, which you just have to be. As an allergy mummy, you've got to carry that adrenaline device everywhere you go, and you've got to be on it.
Yeah. And I think people are like, oh yeah, allergies, whatever. But like it's so serious. And I think
Yes,
it's so good that there's so much more conversation around it now.
I think so. And like I said, it's now a massive topic. Just going to restaurants, like I said earlier, you do get asked, and it's the difference between, you can potentially save someone's life. If you knew those early signs of anaphylaxis, you could potentially save someone's life. And that for me is just enough, knowledge is power. And that for me is all I can really ask, is for people just to kind of look into even knowing how to use an adrenaline device. Because Wolfie won't really understand how to use it, and we have to do it for him. But at birthday parties, I'm sure you have the same with Stanley. Like I sometimes you have to leave your children at these birthday parties. I'm like literally waiting around the corner, making sure nothing happens in case I do need to give him his adrenaline device. So it's just little things like keep knowledge is power, and just trying to kind of hopefully people want to educate themselves, speak to their GP. And these allergies can come out of the blue. Like I said, Wolfie had hummus before, so it's not like they can't develop it over a couple of years, which is even scary, which is really scary.
Well, the campaign's amazing. We will put some information in the show notes about the campaign. Before I let you go, so what fun Christmas things are you doing before you go to Mexico?
We are going to Lapland, UK this weekend, which I absolutely love. I don't know if you've been, it is so
Yeah.
gorgeous and Christmassy.
I'm thinking next
And
year for Stanley because
yeah, I think maybe,
half.
yeah, I think they need to be a little bit older. It's a lot of walking around, but it's fantastic. And I'm also taking India to go and see the Nutcracker, just her and I. We're going to stay in a cozy hotel around the corner after and just have a girls' little night together. And she loves that. We're getting away from the boys. She loves that.
Well, thank you so much for joining me, and thanks so much for listening, everybody. I've put the information about the campaign in the show notes, and I'll be back next week with another fabulous guest. Until then, don't forget to check out our social medias at Amy Hart's Mums Club on Instagram and TikTok, and I will see you next time.